There are various folks in India who have been talking about Hindutva movement in our country. Can you first define for us what Hindutva actually means for Hindu, the larger Hindu community and the nation? And also can you address the related questions about how Hindutva is connected to your movement and Sanatan Dharma in general, and why is it so important in the context of India?
Hindutva means the sum total of the entire wisdom of India. As it is well known, India is one of the most ancient civilizations of the world. Bharatvarsh, as India has and should be known, has been the spiritual nerve center of the world. It is well known that Bharatvarsh has been the inspiration for almost all the prophets, saints, seers, and anyone in the world who wants to actually seek spirituality, not dogmas, not religious cults, but actual spiritual traditions of God realization invariably come to India. It is very difficult to define Hindutva because of a very simple reason. As is well said, that spirituality is beyond words. That which can be only experienced is spirituality. Spirituality is not an intellectual exercise. Spirituality is not an intellectual high which can be described in flowery words. Spirituality is realizing the truth as it is. The only definition of spirituality which I have realized in my sadhana is to realize and accept the truth as it is, not imposing your prejudices, not imposing your desires and wishes on the truth, but to rather mold your inner self so that you are capable to realize and accept the truth as it is spirituality. And since spirituality is purely experiential and hence beyond words, it is extremely difficult to exactly define Hindutva intellectually, because Hindutva is nothing but the sum total of infinite experiences of infinite God-realized rishis, maharshis, brahma rishis of Bharatvarsh. Bharatvarsh has always realized one thing, that there are as many ways to realize God as there are people on this planet Earth. And hence, it has never ever made it compulsory to worship God in a certain way. It has given you the freedom to realize God in your own way, and that is how it should be. And the sum total of the spiritual realization during the process of God realization of millions and billions of saints and seers of Bharatvarsha, the sum total of it is Hindutva. That is strictly spiritually speaking. But now, in today's context, there is a more concrete definition of Hindutva as well. Hindutva is the fundamental ethos of India. Hindutva is not only just a religion like Islam or Christianity or Judaism. Hindutva is religion, is spiritual values, is the most evolved way of God realization. But apart from that, it is also the entire history of Bharatvarsh. It's the civilization, it is the ethos of India. And hence, Hindutva, in one word, is the way of civilization. Bharatvarsh is a Sanatan civilization, Sanskrit. And hence Hindutva is Dharma, Rashtra, Sanskrit. When you integrate Dharma, Rashtra, Sanskriti, that is the righteous spiritual way of life, the path of God realization, and nationalism that Hindutva evolved. Again, when we talk of nationalism, it is not in geographical sense, but in the sense that God can only be realized when you transcend your I, that is your ego. The sense of I, my, mine. These three characteristics of ego, when transcended, only then you can realize God. But how will you transcend your I? How can your I transcend your I? The only way to do this is to devote yourself in selfless sadhana, in selfless service of this great spiritual land of Bharatvarsha, this great Hindu Rashtra. When you perfect this sadhana of selfless Rashtra sadhana, of this pursuit of selfless service to this great Hindu Rashtra, slowly and slowly you transcend your I, you transcend your ego, and hence you realize God by not wanting to realize God, but by selflessly serving your motherland. That is this Bharatvarsha, the great Hindu Rashtra, the spiritual torch bearer of the world. The best example of this is Acharya Chanakya. The life of Acharya Chanakya, you can say, is a very good reflection, very good summary of Hindutva. A person, a seeker who never seeked anything for himself, but seeked a unified, great, glorious spiritual land, who wanted to invoke all the great spiritual potential of Bharatvarsha, the great Hindu Rashtra, and so he did it in its economic sense, in the sense of economics, in the sense of social empowerment of the disenfranchised sections of Bharatvarsha, in the political sense by politically uniting India, and in spiritual sense by reviving all the great spiritual values of Bharatvarsha. When in this holistic approach, you selflessly strive to serve your motherland, this great Bharatvarsha, this great Hindu Rashtra, you very slowly, without wanting it, start transcending your ego. You start transcending all the characteristics of ego, that is the pursuit of I, selfless I, my, mine, the selfish desires. You transcend all this, and hence you start transcending fear. Fear is the most fundamental characteristic of ego. And when you slowly become eyeless, fearless, you become egoless in its true essence. This happens without you wanting to be egoless. Because if you want to be egoless, you can never be egoless. That is the catch. And this Niswart, Nishkam, Nirahankar Rashtra Sadhana, this selfless, egoless, desireless, fearless sadhana of this great Hindu Rashtra is Hindutva in its holistic sense. And to this Hindutva, this spiritual movement is totally dedicated to practice and to propagate this Hindutva in its economic sense, that is, to economically empower the most neglected and the poor sections of Hindu society, in its social sense, that is, to socially empower all the sections of this great Hindu family, in its political sense, to politically assert the essence of Hindutva, both internally and externally, and in its spiritual sense, to make each and every Hindu, each and every man to realize his spiritual potential in its entirety and turn each and every human being into a Vivekananda, into a Chanakya. This holistic process of empowerment is the true explanation of Hindutva, and to this Hindutva, this spiritual movement is totally dedicated and is propounding the same.
One related question to this: in the process of Hindu Rashtra Sadhana, what are the challenges, what are the roadblocks that you see on this journey towards seeking an enlightened Hindu Rashtra? And when do you expect this dream to materialize?
I will start with your last question. There is no end date to realize Hindu Rashtra, because Hindu Rashtra is the way of life, the supreme spiritual way of life. And hence, since life in itself has no beginning, no end, it is Sanatan. The pursuit of Hindu Rashtra is an eternal process. But will we realize Hindu Rashtravad in this very life of ours in its entirety? Yes, we will. By making sure that at least our lives, our way of life, our lifestyle is dedicated to this cause. The roadblocks to this Hindu Rashtra Sadhana, to be very honest, I would like to divide my answer into two parts: internal roadblock and external roadblock. Let me first start with internal roadblock. The biggest internal roadblock in realizing Hindu Rashtra is the sense of I. Till you seek nothing but glorification of your own I, your individual I, you cannot actually strive for building a great Hindu Rashtra. So first, each and every Hindu should strive to transcend his own I, his ego, his narrow sense of I, my benefit, what will I benefit out of doing this, my family, my welfare, only my profit. When you transcend these characteristics of ego and strive for selfless Rashtra Sadhana, Hindu Rashtra Sadhana, Hindutva Sadhana, is when the journey begins. The second most internal threat to Hindu Rashtra Sadhana is our self-created fear. As I said, fear is the most fundamental characteristic of ego. So, beware of your own inner consciousness. It will make you afraid. It will throw insecurities at you. What if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? What if while doing Hindu Rashtra Sadhana, I make some enemies? So on and so forth. Fear will try to distract, dissuade you. Don't get dissuaded or distracted. Once we have taken care of ourselves, coming to the external threats, since Hindutva is the most spiritual platform available to the entire humanity to realize their true spiritual potential, because Hindutva is that way of life which helps man to transcend his inner inhibition and not to be bothered about what the other is praying to, whether the other is worshipping a cow or a tree, whether the other is worshipping in a synagogue or church. He doesn't have hatred towards them just because of that. Hindutva is basically all inclusiveness. But at the same time, Hindutva is to oppose all those who are anti-spiritual. What is being anti-spiritual? Someone who says that you can worship God only in this way, that only this person is a prophet and no one else is. Someone who says either you follow my religion or I'll kill you. Any such person, as per Hindutva, is anti-spiritual.